I just want to share some interesting thoughts I had after doing this course on the idea of flow. So obviously the idea of flow states is basically like when you sit down and work, you want to enter in a state of immense focus where you're just kind of in the zone. That's kind of like what flow means. And there's, a couple of key findings that I just wanted to mention in this video because I thought they were very interesting. So first off, in one of the earliest videos, it talks about that we're more distracted than we think we are. Because I thought, I just get distracted 1 or 2 times a day, but no, actually the average person gets distracted 56 times a day. And now that I'm more conscious of it, that's definitely I realized that the numbers and the estimations I had were way off. I thought I was getting distracted 3 times a day, but honestly, it may be close to this, if not higher. And so we get about 11 minutes of focus work done each day. That is that's on average. I personally feel like for myself, I'm working on that. So it's a bit high now, but definitely not to the stage where I want it to be. And this was kind of an interesting stat. Those distracting their work by email saw a 10.4 in the IQ. So that's quite interesting. And it took 23 minutes to refocus. But we switch tasks every 3 minutes. So basically, we can never focus because we're just constantly switching up tasks. And I'm definitely guilty of that. I constantly just check my emails or do these types of productive distractions. Emails are a good example of that, but also just random stuff. I just start assembling my books when I'm meant to be writing an essay or something. So essentially the analogy that they provided was that in order to solve being distracted, we can't operate noise cancelling headphones. And what I mean by that is for noise cancelling headphones, they expend a whole heap of energy blocking out most basic noise. And that is very energy inefficient. Whereas if we just reduce the background noise in the first place, then we don't have to expend so much energy blocking out that noise. And basically what this means, if we bring it back to distraction, is rather than trying to develop the skill of dealing with distractions, we should just be able to reduce the amount of distractions we have in the first place. Otherwise, all our brain power is going to go towards canceling out the distractions as opposed to the actual work. So eliminating distractions is obviously a key takeaway. I know it sounds kind of basic, but there's always more optimizations that we can be doing. And, I'm definitely guilty of thinking that advice is basic, but then never actually actioning on it because I thought it was basic. But actually it's common advice for a reason because it's such a common issue for me and maybe for you as well. So that's basically the main takeaway I got from this this course. And then a little a bonus tip is when I'm distracted as I'm doing work or anything, rather than try to force myself to study or work, one helpful tip that kind of gave was you need to change the state that you're in. So if you got distracted and now you're trying to go back to work, your mind's not in the right state. And instead they said you should bore yourself. So, for example, you should just stare at the point of the wall or just start counting sheep in your head. And then you get so bored that the work you're doing doesn't feel as bad. So that's kind of a little helpful tip that I got from this course. And of course, things like writing down clearer goals, clearing out distractions, things like that are very helpful. But yeah, that's just a little takeaway I got from this course, Zero to Dangerous. That's probably the most valuable takeaway. So just wanted to share that in case that helps you. So just